Just to check it out because you say Anna start. Yes.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good
Hey,
afternoon.
great. My mic is working and camera's working. I'm good. I see somebody.
You're on mute, Marilyn.
Sorry, I was talking on my work cell.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Anna.
Hello.
Glad you could join us, Jalen.
I'm happy to be here. Very happy. Thank you for the invite.
Share my screen. Who's here from our planning team? Really? Oh, there's Maisha.
Hi there.
Maisha.
Hi, Anna. It's Atasha.
Hey, Tasha.
There.
Is Aurelia here?
Yes, I'm here.
Laura?
I'm here.
Yeah, if anybody took the day off today.
Oh, you know what? There is a holiday, so I don't think the schools districts are working today. Because my son is in Fort Bend and he doesn't have school today.
No, they don't. Mm-mm.
No, they don't. My daughter's in Katie and she's out today too as well.
Lamar had school today.
Lamar is here.
Yeah, Lamar is all there.
I saw a couple school districts, so I didn't know students get a fall break now. Is that why they're out? Kinda
On the
cool.
calendar, it says it's Indigenous Day and Columbus Day. So
Indigenous Day. But also some
Indigenous.
schools like college gets fall break. My son's on fall break from college.
Okay. I saw a couple of like school
Not
districts
mine.
that get.
I think some of them get a long weekend. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we will go ahead and get started. We are recording. My name is Anna Kluth. I'm with Workforce Solutions, part of the planning team for the Foster Youth Collaborative. If our other members would like to introduce yourself. And while we're all kind of talking and after introductions, we do have an icebreaker today. So what's your favorite song or soundtrack for doing focused work? So if you would enter in who you are, the organization you're with, and then share or recommend songs or music that help you concentrate at work. You want to introduce yourself, Laura, since you are our icebreaker queen?
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Laura Banks. I work for the Coalition. I'm the Associate of Youth Programs at the Coalition. My favorite song is Run the World Girls by Beyonce, because we run the world. No.
I love
I
it.
like that. I like that. Hey, I'll go next. My name is Jalon Debs. Everybody calls me coach. Yes, I am a coach and I've won championships. I'm with TSTC and I'm the community liaison here in Fort Bend, but I handle all 10 campuses throughout the state. And my passion is making sure I help those kids who need that extra pick me up. And I'm usually their mentor or coach or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes their dad and their mom. But this is my passion. I'm from Los Angeles, California, play basketball, San Diego State. Worked around the world, number of oil and gas companies, and I'm giving my time back to the community. Oh, I hear an echo. Is that me? Oh, and my favorite song while I'm doing this work, I'm old school, MC Hammer, Pump It Up.
Nice to meet you. I saw you at the conference this weekend, helping
Yes.
lots of kids. My name is
Yes.
Christina Bood. I am the principal of Meridian Academy, CEO of St. Michael's Learning Academy. And my favorite song is, well, one of the songs that always gets me in a good mood. I cannot not sing it or say it without being a happy mood is I've Got Sunshine. And we usually tell our students whenever they're starting a test and they have test anxiety to go to their happy place or choose a happy song that gets them in a good mood when they're about to start a test or if they're having any kind of anxiety. So I love that you did that icebreaker, Anne. That's awesome. Nice to meet you.
That's all Laura. She has the best.
Thanks,
idea
Laura.
for
Are you welcome?
I'll go next. I'm Aisha Lyons. I'm a contract manager here at the Gulf Coast Workforce Board and part of the committee for this collaborative. And I like Pharrell Williams' song, the Happy Song.
Awesome. If anybody wants to come on mic, please do so. We do have some great music choices in the chat also. I'm seeing John Coltrane from Brianna. Let's see. We have some Beyonce's album, Renaissance. So more Beyonce. Tasha, I think, said smooth jazz. So I've been listening to some jazz too. Like sometimes the words are too stimulating. I can't focus.
Yeah, to concentrate. So this is Natasha Kelly Harris. I'm with Family Roots for Life, and happy to meet those of you I haven't met before. And yeah, my song, I like smooth jazz to help me concentrate when I'm working, but my real hype song is "This Girl Is on Fire" by Alicia Keys.
Aurelia, I feel like you probably have a good song.
I was actually trying to decide which song I would actually go with. Let's see. So I have a couple. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aurelia Johnson. I'm also a part of this planning collaborative for foster youth. And let's see, my favorite song that I love that I play in rotation. I have several, but the one I always play is "What You Won't Do for Love." That's one of my favorite songs. So.
Hi, I'm Bria Hopgood. I'm with Work-Based Learning, and my song that I repeat a lot is "Am I Frozen?" Oh, "Millionaire," "Good Like That" by Torrin Wells, but I tend to listen to instrumental focused music throughout the day that just constantly plays in the background.
And somebody I already passed it, so I'm not sure who, but said they know music. Jennifer, no music playing to focus. I think.
Yes,
Sometimes.
when you're driving and it starts raining really hard, I turn my music off. Like I gotta have quiet to focus.
I guess I'll go next. Can y'all hear me? Hi Anna, hi everyone. I saw Atasha and so nice to meet y'all finally in person. My name is Eileen Dawn. This is my second meeting. I'm from COPIX Global. We're a nonprofit that helps women and children who are victims of domestic violence, human trafficking, and sexual assault. And just a quick announcement, we have a conference on abuse coming up October 20th, 21st. It is virtual, so I dropped the link below. But to answer your question, sorry, I'm outside, as you can see, I'm in meetings back and forth with having some connection issues. So on a day-to-day basis, I actually love listening to Latin music. Like if I'm driving, commuting between meetings, I would like to play the Latin music on my car channel. And I also like, Josh Groban, You Rise Me Up, and it's just so powerful and so just like so inspirational. Every time I listen to that, and sometimes I get emotional. I will sing with it and I will start crying. So that's one of my many favorite songs. Very powerful.
It sometimes helps us concentrate, and sometimes it can be our release too.
Yes,
Maybe.
yes.
And I see Moya is into the 70s funk and R&B. I think Catalina's into the 80s music. So have all kinds of great ways to help us focus. Anybody else like to share or introduce themselves?
Good afternoon, Anna and everyone. My name is Amber. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Amber.
My name is Amber Goff. I am with ACAM Next Gen, which is a contractor with Workforce Solutions that services the 16 to 24-year-old young adults. I was at the event as well. At Region 4 on Saturday, it was a really nice event. And so it was nice to meet some of you all and also reconnect with some of you all that I have worked with in the past. Far as music goes, I am a silence person. So if I'm really trying to focus, I don't want to listen to anything. But a song that I listen to a lot is Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World. It just puts me in a good mood. It just keeps me optimistic and kind of calms me at the same time for whatever's going on. So
I can introduce myself. I'm Rich Rodriguez. I'm the housing director at the Tejano Center for Community Concerns, and I was there on Saturday as well. We just built a 89-unit complex for youth who've aged out of foster care, which is absolutely free for anybody who's aging out, funded by the county. So I'm excited to partner with you all and try to get that thing filled up. So when we open in February, we have every bed filled. Nice to meet you.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandra Kaiser. I'm the coordinator of social emotional development for ALEAF ISD and also the foster care liaison. I too was at the event on Saturday and on the planning committee, and so it was a great event. And I think Mr. Rodriguez, I had a planning meeting with one of my people from ALEAF, and they're speaking, I think, about you. It was Isaac, and I think he was talking about your program, and so he will be hitting you up, by the way.
Hi guys, my name is Elvia Quintanilla and I'm the founder of Texas Technical Trade School. I was there as well, Region 4. Great turnout, great, the way it was set up, it was great. So it was very informational. I met a lot of you guys as well. We are a for-profit school, but we partner up with a lot of nonprofits to be able to help our kids that are aging out of foster care and want to become electricians or homelessness, connecting them to those resources. So we are a skilled trade career school approved by Texas Workforce Commission.
My name is Anjanette Idem. I'm project manager with 8 Million Stories. It's good to see a lot of familiar faces. I got a chance to meet with a few of you guys this weekend. What we are doing right now is we have a trio electrician program starting this week. We also have GED services for 18 to 21-year-olds. We've also partnered with HISD, which is our real program where we give a diploma opportunity for those 16 to 21 to get a diploma option as long as they have 12 credits and then also be enrolled in a HISD school. So if you have students who can benefit from that, please reach out to me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Barbara Bischoff. I am the Early Intervention Court Liaison for Galveston, Region 6B. So I'm wondering if all of these great programs are only for 6A. Because I'm hearing a lot of Houston, Harris County, but I'm not hearing anything down this way.
I'm actually in South Houston, so I'm not too far from you. So we are definitely, any region, 13 regions here in Houston and surrounding counties, we're able to assist anybody 17 and older. That's Texas Technical Trade.
Okay, so our program is a pilot program in conjunction with the department and Children's Commission. So if anyone has any information on programs that our youth can access, I would really appreciate, I'll put my email in the chat. If you could send that to me and I get that out to all our AALs and all our caseworkers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad you're here, Barbara.
Thanks. It's really hard to get services this end of the spectrum. And we're all one region, 6A, 6B, but a lot of it is just 6A, and our kiddos, even though they would love to access it, they can't because we don't have transportation to Houston.
There are a couple of, Brazoria County, is that 6A or 6B?
It's not, it's 6B.
It's 6B.
Well, we will all start putting our feelers out to try and.
That'd be great. Thank you.
I do see some people are putting their information in the chat. We'll also make sure to share this. There is a Google Doc that has everybody's contact information, so I'll share that again. And if your information is not in there, please add it to it, because we are trying to have a directory with everybody's information that's accessible and transparent to everybody within the group. Okay. Awesome. Okay, well, we will move on because we are going to talk about the resource fair, but October is ending, which is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. We have 3 awesome speakers to present on services regarding students or youth with disabilities. We have Marilyn Gilbreth with Texas Workforce Solutions. We have Anna Holderberg from Workforce Solutions. We also have Soha Muhammad from Workforce Solutions. So we will kick it off to them after we have an overview of the fair. And so it was just on Saturday. I don't have all numbers. I actually left my computer at Region 4 Saturday, so I just picked it up this morning. So when I send the recap later tonight, probably, I will include some numbers in there so we can get some good data. But I did want to share some pictures. If anybody has pictures, please send them in. We would like to do a little booklet to commemorate our first annual Foster and Homeless Youth Conference and Resource Fair. Did want to highlight Prince. So I thought he was an awesome speaker. We had sounds by Simone. She did a great job. Our AKA, this comes from Sandra Kaiser with A-Leaf. They provided basically everything for that fair, including Jason's Deli. They came with a laptop that morning. We had no idea that was going to be a prize. 13 gift cards. They donated $3,600 for the event. So we will be, everybody should be clapping, sending clap hands. We're very grateful for them. Here's some pictures. As I get pictures in, I will make, as soon as we make a little booklet, we'll send those out because we want to make sure to feature everybody and say thank you. Wanted to say thank you to the planning team, and I really hope I included everybody that put a lot of work into this. This is kind of our core group. We had a bigger group, but this is everybody who was kind of the core. So Maisha from Workforce Solutions, Aurelia. Maisha kind of helped us stay on track. She provided Lucretia's tribute video that ended up not working out. We wanted to play it during the fair, but Lucretia started the Foster Youth Collaborative, and this was part of her vision. And so I made the PowerPoint incorrectly. So it had Happy, which is Maisha's favorite song, but it didn't work out. So I apologize. Aurelia, who she's actually helped us change the language of the flyer, which was very important, as to be socially conscious of the words that we're using for the youth to see. So that was huge. She also provided the virtual reality room with her education specialist team. We had Janine Gordon, who is in court with the customer today, so she's not able to be here, but she was also started this with Lucretia at the very beginning. And she made the vendor certificates and helped with the volunteer treats. Laura Banks with Coalition for the Homeless. She was a huge part of this. She secured the prices we got from Jason's Deli, and she had the connection for the shirts, and she's always connecting us with new resources to partner with the collaborative. Natasha, she was our bankroll. She processed all the donations. She went on runs to get the volunteer treats for hospitality food. She did a lot. Thank you, Natasha. And then Annabelle with Lone Star College. She actually referred Prince, so that's how we got Prince to be our MC, was through Annabelle. And she provided all of the bags that all of the youth and participants got at the registration desk. And she brought the Lone Star mobile trailer for everybody to go in and have that experience. She also created the agenda flyer. Tyrell Green, I'm not sure if he's here today. But he's been a part of the planning group since the beginning, giving lots of ideas. Sandra Kaiser, again, she also referred the DJ, so we're grateful for her to have had sounds by Simone. And she gave the transportation training. And then, of course, LaShonda and Tiana from Region 4, I'm not sure if they're able to be on this, but they provided the location for this event. They have a huge space. It worked out really well, so we're very grateful for them. They also created the flyer. And then Vanessa with DFPS and Brianna with Hastener, they're huge part of the planning committee and helping us spread the word on this with all of their staff members. So if I missed you, I apologize, chime in and say I did this, but we are super grateful for everybody who came together. And especially all of the vendors. We had over 40 vendors there. Again, I need to get all the counts, but part of the mission and the vision of the Foster Youth Collaborative is to bring all of the partners together so that we can go out and actually come as a cohesive group and team to all of the youth out there. And it really showed on Saturday. So I am grateful to all of you if you participated. And just want to say a heartfelt thank you from me, from the planning team. We do have a survey that we would like for everyone to fill out because we definitely know we have some improvements to make in regards to timing, the workshops, but we would like your honest feedback. I think we all have thick skin, and also things that worked out that we can continue to do for next time. Our second annual will actually be in May, so we're going to start planning soon. But I see Chandra. But May is Foster Youth Awareness Month, so we want to have it during that month. And really, that's it. Anybody, if you have comments to make or want to say something quickly, we'd love to hear from you before we move on to our guest speakers.
Hello.
This is Natasha.
Go ahead, Natasha. Ladies first.
I was just gonna say, yeah, thank you. I was just gonna say, I mean, it really was a great thing to participate on the planning committee with the group. I just think that everybody did a wonderful job sharing their time, talents, and treasures, if you will, and all the connections and resources. And I love to see a good team come together and be able to just share what they have to offer. And it really worked out well to produce this great first conference. So thanks to the entire planning committee and also for sure, Anna, for your leadership and helping to keep us on task and on target week to week until it all happened. It was amazing that the week before it was due to happen, it was amazing that we were already there. We had been talking about it for so long. And when we finally got to that week before, it was like, okay, it's really happening. And we all just came together and it worked out. So thanks to everybody. And for sure you, Anna, for your leadership.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Coach again. One thing I can tell you I really enjoyed was the interactive students as they were walking around trying to figure out which room to go to and who to talk to. Allow your vendors, and I'm one of them. I consider myself a coach, so I'm gonna go up to any kid I see walking around not sure what they want to do, and I start talking to them. And you get a lot of good information of what they really want to do, because when they go to these conferences, they're not sure what to do. Who is their mentor, their coach? And it really helps out when they come into an organization or an event like this. They have some type of goal set. And I noticed a lot of people were helping them out, guiding them in certain direction, putting them into the right program or the right workshop. And it was, you watch the kids light up. You know, they're not sure what they're getting into, but once they sit down, they realize, you know what, this is good for me. I want to make a difference. So I want to thank you. I want to be there for the second, third, fourth, fifth annuals. Please include me. No problem speaking amongst thousands of kids. Doesn't matter to me. I want to help any way I can.
Thank you, Coach.
Welcome.
Well, we will keep moving on.
Anna. Oh, hi, Anna. It's Aurelia again. Of course, I just want to absolutely piggyback what Coach said and what was expressed by Atasha, but I also want to say once again a special thank you to the beautiful ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated for their financial support, because this wouldn't have been possible without them. So thanks again for that connection that you made. Sandra.
Oh, of course, sorry, because you're my Sora too. But Anna, I just want to say again, Anna and Janine's not on here, and some of the other people that from the very beginning, they just it was a labor of love, literally. And I'm just excited that it was pulled off and it got on the news. And that hearing like even Coach saying other partners will want to be visible and be in this for next year, not next year. What is next year? Technically, it's in the spring for 2023 during the month. So that's I'm excited about that.
We're getting a little empty. Okay.
So Anna, do you want to let them know that we hear somebody, they may need to turn their mic off?
Yeah, just muted.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they just muted.
So we will move on to Miss Marilyn. Let me share your.
Good morning, everyone. Coach, we need to make sure that our new regional transition specialist has your contact information. Love your energy, sir. So everyone knows Kristen has been promoted. She's at state office now. So that position will come open soon. Any of you out there interested, look for the posting and work in Texas. That's my little plug for that. But Coach, we want to make sure we connect you with her. Anna, let me know when you're up and ready.
Okay, we're ready.
Awesome. And I can see the chat with you running it for me, so that's great. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to stick it in the chat. Good morning. My name is Marilyn Gilbreth, and I am the Community Outreach and Awareness Specialist for the Houston Gulf Coast region. It's a little confusing, and I understand that. So we are under TWC, Workforce Solutions, Vocational Rehabilitation Services. So some of you all may have known us as Department of Assistive and Rehabilitative Services, that long name. Some of you who are probably a little bit older may have known us as Texas Rehabilitation Commission, TRC. We're all one and the same. We just did a name change. The bottom line is you'll see on this screen is everything we do under Vocational Rehabilitation Services is about work. It's about employment. Next screen, Anna. With that being said, I know a lot of you all are probably dealing with school-age children. So all of this applies to any age group. So we're the third largest market, this Houston area, and there are probably 85,000 plus Texans with disabilities in that working age of 18 to 64. So many of you say, well, I thought you guys started working with people at age 14. We do. But when you start talking about the working age population, we talk about 18 to 64. Because typically what happens is most people that aren't born with a disability typically get that disability during their working years. And that's when it gets to be kind of scary for most people because they don't know where to go. So that's why we talk about this, that there's 85,000 plus Texans in the working world that have a disability. Okay, next slide. So Texans age 18 to 64, we serve. That's our age group for working individuals. People younger than that, as I said, and people older than that. So part of my job is to help people get connected to a counselor to help them become employed. With that being said, I've had people as old as 70, 72, 73 contact me and say, hey, you know, I want to get back into the workforce. I have a disability, and it's not age related. It's a actual disability. Can you help me get me connected? So this 18 to 64 is just a guide that we use for for those stats, but we help people younger than 18 and we help people over 64. So I don't want you to get caught up in that. So I see in the chat already, somebody asked me a great question, and I'm going to stop and answer that because I don't have a problem doing that. We help any individual with a disability, mental, physical, or visual, obtain employment. So when we start talking about mental disabilities, that runs the whole gamut. That's IDD, which long ago we called MR. We don't say that anymore. Intellectual disabilities, IDD. Schizophrenic, bipolar, anything that falls under the DSM diagnosis of a mental disability, we serve it. We can assist with. Physical disabilities goes from wheelchair user to someone who has lost an arm or leg or whatever, and they're in need of a prosthetic, or how to function with the one that they have. So I love that question. Thank you. They talk about people who may be illiterate. If your illiteracy is an impediment to employment, because we know that there's some people that doesn't bother them, they don't read or write well, and they're gainfully employed. If your disability is getting in the way of you becoming employed, then yes, VR services are available to you. So that's the caveat. It doesn't matter what the disability is. If it's getting in the way of you getting, keeping, or advancing on a job, then you need our services. Next slide, please. So Texas Workforce Solutions, we have probably 28 local workforce development boards. Within those, there's probably, and Anna helped me with this, I think we have 18 co-located offices. So what does that mean? That means when you walk into a Workforce Solutions office, you're probably 9 times out of 10 or 8 out of 10, I'd say, there's going to be a vocational rehabilitation staff in that office. And so what people need to do is they need to ask. So when you walk into a Workforce Solutions office and you say, hey, I have a disability, I want to talk to a vocational rehabilitation counselor, you can. That does not mean that you can't work with the Workforce Solutions staff person, because we can work in conjunction with each other. It's just that if your disability is severe enough that you may not be able to follow along with all the things that Workforce Solutions is going to require of you, then you probably need to come to our side of the house and access our services, because there's services we can provide for people with disabilities that Workforce Solutions doesn't have. But we all work with people with disabilities. All right, next slide, please. So, oh, I've already said that, I'm sorry. Next slide, please. There's a little bit of a delay, so bear with me, guys. Okay. So here is the caveat that I want everybody to hear. Everybody who has a disability doesn't necessarily need our services. Okay? So I want to make sure everybody understands that. Every person with a disability does not necessarily need our services. Why? Your disability has to cause what we term an impediment to employment. That means your disability is getting in the way of you getting that job, keeping that job, or advancing in that job. We have, and I'm going to give this as an example, our governor has what we would call a disability because he's a wheelchair user. He doesn't need our services. He's gainfully employed. So you want to look at if that person's disability is an impediment to employment, then they will require our services. Okay, everybody got that? Next slide. So, VR services, I told you at the beginning, it has to do with employment. All of our federal funds are geared toward employment. So a lot of times we'll have people come to us, especially sometimes in the school system, they'll want somebody to come to us to get a diagnosis. Okay, that's not a good use of our federal funds. Okay, so we can't use federal funds to determine what your disability is or if you have one. Okay, you have to come to us with a diagnosis or something from the school system that shows it, Social Security recipient because you have a disability, counseling records from psychiatric counseling, whatever that may be. And you have to have a strong desire to become employed. If you're not interested in employment, vocational rehabilitation services are not for you. I don't know how else to say that. Because a lot of times, especially with adults, we know certain people that really need our services. And so we call, or we go in through the portal and we apply for VR services for them. And then our counselors call them, they go, no, I don't want to go to work. And so you'll find that with me, if somebody contacts me on behalf of somebody else, I will always ask you, is that other person with you? And if you tell me yes, then I'll say, then let me speak to them, please. If you tell me they're not, then I will either send you VR information, the online self-referral information, because it's not fair to that individual to be applying for services and they're not interested in them or even aware of what that means. Same with us. Would you want somebody to apply for a loan for you? That's your credit, okay? That's your business. You need to be in complete control of what happens. And you have to think of it the same way. People go, well, you know, my friend, my husband, my wife, my child doesn't really understand the concept of work. That in and of itself is a concern. Okay, so we want to make sure that they get to talk to a counselor and understand this is all about going to work. And if that student, husband, wife, spouse, whomever says they don't want to go to work, you cannot force that on them. Because the vocational rehabilitation services require that person to be actively involved in lots of things. I've had people call me and say, well, I want to go to work, but I only want to work from home. We can't guarantee that. Okay, it's about going to work. We can't guarantee that you can work from home. Okay, so I'm just being honest and upfront. We have people who say, well, I have a disability and I want to go to work, but you know, COVID has me bothered and I'm not leaving my home. The vocational rehabilitation services are going to require you leave home. It's either going to require you to meet with your counselor at some point. It's going to require you to participate in some trainings, some activities, something that's going to require you to have to leave your home. We are not in a situation where you can actively apply for VR services, go through the VR services, obtain a job, and never ever walk into anybody's office. So if you have people that are in that situation, and I understand it, that just is the way it is. At some point, you're going to have to do a face-to-face with somebody, all right? There's going to be documents that are required for you to sign or to give somebody else permission to talk about your case, etc. Again, some people are not comfortable with DocuSign. Some people are not comfortable with technology at all. They're going to have to walk into an office and sign for that kind of information. Next slide, Anna. So we talk about services, and the thing that everybody wants to know all the time is what kind of services. We could sit here all day, literally, and talk about our services. So what you see before you is just a minuscule number of services we provide. Because what we do is we look at what the disability is, what the impediment that I talked about is, and then we determine what services are needed to either reduce those impediments or eliminate them altogether. So it's very difficult to sit here and say, well, this person has bipolar and this person has schizophrenia or this person has a prosthetic. What services can you provide? It's going to be determined upon what that individual's needs are. Also, when we're talking about people with psychiatric issues, bipolar person number 1 and bipolar person number 2 may not need the same services. So it's individualized. That's why I talked about it's very important. At some point, you come into the office and sit down and have a conversation with your counselor and discuss what your situation is, what your issues are. Okay. And then some of the services that we can provide are career counseling and guidance. Why do we talk about career counseling and guidance? If you have a 50 IQ, full scale IQ, based upon federal funding and me having to be a good steward over taxpayers' dollars and the federal funds, I cannot support you becoming an accountant for obvious reasons. I'm not killing anyone's dreams, but I have to be a good steward over taxpayers' dollars. I'm not telling you you can't go to college. I'm not telling you can't enroll. What I am saying is VR funds may not be able to fund that. And I love to say that's the truth, Ruth. Okay, we have to be a good steward over taxpayers' dollars. So we do career counseling and guidance because we have to help you understand, here's what your impediment is. This job that you want requires this set of skills, and how can we get you from your level to the level that this requires? If there are VR services available to do that, we're absolutely more than happy to do that. We're not miracle workers. So if you have a 50 IQ, there's not really any VR services I can do to get you into a bachelor's program for accounting. Okay. We help with job search assistance. We help with disability-related skills training. One of the ones that I absolutely love is orientation and mobility. You hear people call O&M training. So somebody who's visually impaired, from a visual impairment all the way up to legally blind. That means you close your eyes, you turn the lights off in the house, you put your hands over your eyes, they see that. They still can go to work. I have friends all over the state who are legally blind, who see dark, and they make much more money than me because they've been with the state a very long time. Okay, so they can work. But if they change jobs, they may need orientation and mobility skills training, which means how do I get from my home to this new job site? We do it all the time. We never think about it. You get a new job downtown Houston. You go, oh my God, I love the job, but I got to figure out what my commute's going to be like. You do the same thing. It's orientation and mobility. You do it as well. What's going to be my best route? I start work on Monday morning. I'm going down there Sunday afternoon to figure out my route, where I'm going to park. We always do that. So orientation and mobility is the same type of concept for someone who's visually impaired. Academic and vocational training, we talked about that a moment ago. If you're talking about academic training, nothing changes for somebody with a disability for a person without a disability, okay? Everybody has to fill out the FAFSA. Everybody has to pass all their classes. If you don't pass your classes and you're on academic probation, you're on academic probation from us too. There's no place in the continental US of A that you can go to and go enroll in another college because you're on academic probation here in Houston, because they track it by your Social Security number. So we talk about academic training. Your counselor is going to be very upfront and forthright with you about the expectations. There was a time where you could be a professional student. You could go to college till the cows came home. That is no more. We have to follow the federal guidelines on what that looks like, smell like, tastes like. Just because you're getting assistance from VR services does not mean you can go to school for the next 10 years. You have the same academic expectations from VR as you do the college. Vocational training, love vocational training. As a matter of fact, vocational training has been a kind of hot commodity of late because it's short-term training with lots of money at the end. So you don't have to spend 4, 5, or 6 years in college. You can go to a training that takes you, one of the ones that I just recently talked to a gentleman about was welding. He went to welding school, and I want to say welding school is what, maybe six weeks in length? And then he got a job making $60,000. I'm like, I can't tell you how long it took me to make $60,000. Okay, it surely was not coming right out of high school and entering a program that I did over the summer. And then I was making $60,000. Now, the other piece to that is welders also have what we call a it's where you can go up the corporate ladder kind of thing. So they start out as welders, so they can be a lead welder. The money goes up exponentially with every one of those. Or you can be the supervisor on the site, or you can be the person over the supervisors. So that welding job has career growth in it as well. Assistive technology, we talked about that. That can be things like a cochlear implant, prostheses. Anything that is technology oriented. Go back to the question that the person asked earlier. You know, we have pens that help people write. Okay, that's assistive technology. Okay, support services, what do those look like? Anything that's going to assist somebody in completing their academic or their work goal are considered support services. But again, these are a small number of services that we provide, and the key is ensuring that you sit down and talk to your counselor and you're upfront about what your situation is and how to move forward. Next slide. How am I doing on time? I love doing this kind of stuff, so I could be here all day. Okay, good. So how can you apply for VR services? You have heard me talk about the online self-referral. The online self-referral has been such a hit that they're backlogged. Trust me, I dislike it too. However, you can still access services by these two means. And I encourage you to take your phone out and do a screenshot. You can call the statewide call center at 512-936-6400. Or my favorite thing, we're not over COVID, but our doors are open. So if you're not somebody that does well with technology or does well over the phone, I encourage you to walk into a facility and ask for a VR counselor. So you can do that by going to the VR office locator that you see on the screen and finding out what office is closest to where you live. Okay? And when you find out what that office is, go there and ask. And remember, I told you earlier, many of our offices are co-located. So the first people you're going to interact with are going to be Workforce Solutions staff. You can say to them, I would like to speak with a VR counselor, and they will let you do that. However, as I said earlier, you can work with both a Workforce Solutions staff person and a VR staff person simultaneously, because we both have the end goal in mind, helping Texans become employed. Okay, next slide. These are our upcoming events. I encourage you to Google them for more information. Everything's happening this week, so it's really upcoming events. If you'd like to participate in White Cane Safety Day, here's the locations for the one at University of Houston. And then we have one that's on Saturday at the Metropolitan Multi-Service Center. If you decide to attend one of these, please look for me. I'll be at both of these events. I'd love to chat with you further if you have a particular question about your particular person you know, whether or not they can access services. I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you. All right, next slide. Here's how you contact me. It is much easier and you'll get a quicker response if you send me an email. I probably get 100+ calls a week. And that's before the online self-referral was backlogged. So now I'm catching those calls. So if you really want a quick turnaround response from me, then send me an email. Okay? Because while I was sitting here with you all, I just responded to an email. So it's a lot easier for you to reach me by email. Okay? Next slide, I think it's questions or Q&A session. I don't see anything in the chat box. I see somebody had to leave, but that's good. I don't see any other questions. Anna, do you see any questions for me?
Don't think so. All right. Thank you,
No
Marilyn.
questions.
Thanks,
Giving us
Marilyn.
Hey, Janine, nice to see you.
Hi.
Congrats for this past weekend. I heard it was an excellent opportunity. Anna H, I haven't seen you in forever. Sorry.
Hello. Coming up. Thank you, Marilyn. We'll share your information if anybody has questions. But thanks for giving us the truth, Ruth. I like that. Yeah. And we will move on. We have, the meeting does go to 2:30. I know sometimes people can't make it. It is recorded and we will share it. But this is important information we want to be able to talk about. So I'll go ahead and pass it off to Anna Holderberg.
Okay, thank you. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please do.
All right. Oop. Y'all see my screen? Hold on. I think I shared the wrong screen. Just a moment. There we go. All righty. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anna Holderberg, and I am a student hireability navigator with the Workforce Board. And I'm going to piggyback off of Marilyn's presentation just to focus a little bit on my role in the Workforce Board, which is Student Hireability Navigator. I won't go through Workforce Solutions because I have a feeling that Soha, our last presenter, will be going through that. So I'm going to skip through Workforce Solutions, and I'm going to delve right into pre-employment transition services. So again, I'm a student hireability navigator with the board, and my role is to promote and outreach what is called pre-employment transition services. And so the student hireability navigator role, what we do is we provide awareness to, I think it's now 76 school districts, and all eligible students of the pre-employment transition services that are available through Texas Workforce Commission. We have 13 counties that we provide services to and that we provide outreach to. We increase student referrals for transition services at the VR centers. We identify and address gaps and opportunities in each of those areas, specifically underserved areas. We also help employers to diversify their workforce, and we support partnerships between districts, VR centers, and potential employers in order to match our students into work-based learning experiences. So there are 5 core categories in pre-employment transition services, and those would be job exploration, counseling on post-secondary education, job readiness, self-advocacy, and work-based learning. So if we look at job exploration looks at the assessment of vocational interest. It could look at in-demand industries and exploring the labor market. It could look at non-traditional employment options, and it could look at vocational interest inventories. Counseling on post-secondary education. So if a student desires to go to college or anything beyond high school, then the transition counselor can sit down with that student and look at various possibilities. And a discussion could involve something like assisting with the enrollment process, identifying interests, abilities, preferences and goals, documenting academic accommodations, advocating for accommodations, perhaps even familiarizing with the education and vocational laws, identifying financial aid options. So that would be the counseling on post-secondary education. The job readiness category, that looks something like a vocational adjustment training, and that could include a transition counselor assisting the student with typical things like how to manage money, how to use a cell phone or not to use a cell phone on the job, how to manage their time, how to have proper hygiene, how to cooperate in a work setting, how to be professional, how to communicate positively, and how to have appropriate behavior, and perhaps even how to dress appropriately Sometimes our students have no idea what an appropriate attire looks like on the job. So that basically encompasses job readiness. Self-advocacy, which also can be a part of a vocational adjustment training, that really refers to an individual's ability to effectively communicate, convey, negotiate, or assert his or her own interests and desires. And that is when a transition counselor can help the student, for example, request accommodations, how to set a goal, how to request for help when needed, how to disclose their ability, how to better understand their disability, how to perhaps talk positively. So those are just some general descriptions of the self-advocacy component to pre-employment transition services. Work-based learning. So work-based learning right now, what we're focusing on is paid work experience. And that's a year-round program where the student can work up to 12 weeks and 20 hours a week. It's a paid internship, $10 an hour. We're hoping to get more for our students. And so what we're looking at now is, like I said, it's a paid work experience year round, but also during the summer, we have summer earn and learn, which is it's a 5 to 6 week summer opportunity where they can also gain experience. Okay, so these pre-employment transition services, they're specifically for students. So they have to be categorized as a student. And they have to be between 14 and 22, and they have to have a documentation of a disability. So if they are receiving services under IDEA or 504, they would qualify. And as I said, they have to be classified in Texas as a student. And that could also mean if they're taking a GED, if they're being homeschooled, even if they're incarcerated. And they have to be deemed as potentially eligible for vocational rehab services. So potentially eligible, this just refers to a provision under WIOA in which an individual who have neither applied nor been determined yet by VR and can receive pre-employment transition services. So again, they have to have a documentation. And for these particular services, financial disclosure is not required, so it's not means tested. So even if the parent is a multimillionaire, it doesn't matter. They can still, as long as they're between 14 and 22, as long as they're in school and they have a documentation of a disability, they can get those 5 core services. So this is the online referral that Marilyn was speaking about. It's basically, like she said, it's going really well. It's very easy, very convenient, but it does take time to get connected. And I think Anna has a copy of this. So if you are interested in that, her or I, either one of us can email, or Marilyn can email that to you.
Let's not have them do that yet because they're behind. So if they're using that portal, that's what I was saying earlier. They're horrifically behind because it's a statewide online self-referral. So it's much easier for them to call the number I gave or use the VR locator and go into the office. If you do that online self-referral, in 2 weeks, you're gonna be going, what's going on? And it's nothing we can do. So we're gonna pull away from that until further notice. Sorry about that, Anna H.
That's okay, gotcha. All right. So in terms of intellectual disabilities, what can that include? So that can include something like a TBI, that can include anywhere on the autism spectrum, that can include a visual impairment, that can include Tourette's, ADD, deaf and blindness. 504. So if the student is under 504, that could look something like if the student has a weight problem or a drug abuse problem, or has PTSD or has some kind of a substance abuse, that would potentially qualify them for pre-ET services. And so these are just some online resources that we compiled over the last year or 2 years now. And so it just it's resources for our students who, you know, want to go online and kind of look at how they can kind of learn about pre-ETs and just do some activities. For example, there's something that's called Texas Reality Check, where they can go online and they could look to see, you know, what it costs to actually live on their own. How much does an apartment cost? What does, you know, what does it take in terms of finances to purchase a car or to, you know, pay your internet or pay your lighting bill? So that's a great website for students who really need that kind of guidance. And then I think Marilyn gave out this number already. If you are, or if you know someone, if you know of a student who needs pre-ETs, pre-employment transition services, you can call the state office or you can call me directly. I still haven't changed this, but that's okay. And so you can call me directly or you can email me. And that's it. And I'd be happy to take questions.
Thank you, Anna. So Miss Berlencia asks, can you share the number again for referrals? Did you get to copy that one from Anna's for the state or the regional office? And we are sharing these slides in the recap, so all that information will be provided.
And I could put my number in the chat if you want to call me directly for more information on paid work experience or on how to reach out to your how to find a VR counselor, or if you have any other questions regarding services for students with disabilities. I'm just gonna type in my cell phone right here.
Hi, this is Janine. I have to say a couple things. I am a transition counselor. Keep in mind, each school has or should have a transition vocational rehabilitation counselor on their campus or a VR counselor. So you guys are asking about referrals. So we're normally assigned to different high schools. Paid work experience starts at the age of 16. So some of the services do not start at 14. So that service starts at 16. Thank you.
Thanks for that clarification.
Thanks. We're glad you made it, Janine.
Thank you.
All right. We will move on to Miss Soha Mohammed.
Good afternoon. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. And real quick too, we didn't really highlight the volunteers, but I see some here that helped the entire day on Saturday. So I want to shout out to Bria, Moya, Amber, all of the Workforce Solutions offices that participated. Thank you so much. We had a good presence there. So thank you to all the volunteers. We had over 30 volunteers, so that's awesome. Okay. And now we'll move on. Thank you, Soha.
Of course. Can you guys see my screen, by the way? Yes. Okay, great. Awesome. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Soha Mohammed, and I'm a navigator for the regional team at Workforce Solutions. And with me, I actually have my colleague, Kim. Kim, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kim Blanchard, and I'm excited to be a part of Workforce Solutions as a disability navigator. My background is in education, and I'm also a licensed psychological associate, and my background was actually in working with those with neurodevelopmental disorders. So I'm excited to present with Soha.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim. So a little bit about us. Like Kim mentioned, we are disability navigators. And so what that really means is we work with individuals with disabilities coming into any Workforce Solutions office. Kim and I primarily focus on training all the staff members at Workforce Solutions on how to work with an individual coming in with a disability. That being said, a lot of times when customers come, there are extra challenges or barriers, and in that case, those staff members make the referral over to Kimberly or myself. So that's kind of what we do in our role. Along with that, we also work with different employers and advocate for individuals with different abilities. So sharing what the benefits of hiring individuals with disabilities are. We also work on developing community partnerships, and that's one of the reasons we're here this afternoon. And so we want to just let the community know that, you know, Workforce Solutions does work with individuals with disabilities, different abilities, and that's kind of what we do on a day-to-day basis.
So October 2022 marks the 77th anniversary of National Disability Employment Awareness Month. The purpose of this month is to educate about disability employment issues and to celebrate the many and varied contributions of individuals with different abilities in America's workforce. So a little history background on NDEAM. It actually started in 1945. Congress enacted a law declaring the first week of October to be National Employ the Physically Handicapped Week. Thankfully, in 1962, they decided that removing the word physically was an important step because they wanted to appreciate the employment needs and contributions of everyone with a disability, no matter what type it was. And then in 1988, Congress actually expanded this week-long observance to an entire month and changed the name to National Disability Employment Awareness Month. So workplaces are now welcoming all of those with so many talents and different needs and challenges because they found that including these individuals with disabilities became a critical part of our efforts to build an inclusive community. So we have a number of activities during the month that will reinforce the value and talent that these people can add to our workplaces and in our community. And we really want to affirm the region's commitment to creating an inclusive community. So as you can see on the poster on your screen, this year, the Department of Labor chose the theme Disability, Part of the Equity Equation. And it's reflecting the importance of ensuring that people with disabilities have equitable access to employment and community involvement. And just as a reminder, equity doesn't mean that everyone gets the exact same thing. It means that everyone receives the assistance that they need to be able to be successful. So we're glad to be a part of bringing that about because 17% of the world's population has some sort of a disability, and that's more than 1.8 billion people in the world. And the world's largest minority group actually has the highest unemployment rate. So we want to be part of changing that.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Kim. So some great information. I really like the poster they made this year, and I like the theme as well. So thanks for sharing again. So like Kim mentioned, it is NDEAM, and that's one of the reasons we're here this afternoon, just to share some information about events we have coming up. It is, you know, October is a month that Workforce Solutions likes to really honor and take account for. So we had one event that we already had. It was last Thursday. It was our very first event of the month. It was a hiring fair at the Houston Westheimer Workforce Solutions office. We do have plenty of more events to come, so don't worry. Our next event is actually on October 20th at the Northline Workforce Solutions office. Now, these events are geared towards individuals with different abilities, but they are open to all. And so if you know of any youth or any individual with a barrier of any sort looking for employment, please do spread the word, because we do have employers that are more than willing and eager to hire individuals with just any different abilities, with different barriers, with different challenges. And so at the last career fair, we had a great turnout of employers. We had employers like FedEx, Amazon, Marriott Hotels, and Cenicor, and a variety of different employers. And we actually had a lot of employers who are looking to hire interns as well. And so we know that you all are, a lot of you are working with youth. And so I know when you're, in that high school, early college years, you're looking for internships. So it might be a great idea to check out these hiring events because, like I said, employers are offering internship opportunities as well. So along with those two special hiring events, we have ongoing events as well. So on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month, Kimberly and I we go to our satellite Workforce Solutions office, which is at the Metropolitan Multi-Service Center. And this center is really geared towards having inclusivity, and it's mostly geared for individuals with disabilities. So they have a gym that is user friendly for all individuals. It has a swimming pool. They have art classes, and we also set up career oriented sessions as well. So on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month, we set up station and we help with job search assistance. So we've had customers who come in for resume assistance, customers who don't even know what a resume is supposed to look like. So we start from scratch. We also help with interviewing skills. We help with networking. We have our connections. And so if a customer comes in and says, I'm looking for customer service based work, then we have some employers that we keep in touch with who are open and eager to hire, like I said, individuals with different abilities. So we make that connection and help them with networking. So essentially, whatever assistance these customers need, we are there to help. And so, like I said, again, every 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month. Along with that, we also have a podcast that we've started. It's called Diversity Works, and you can find it on YouTube. If you type in Diversity Works Workforce Solutions, you should be able to find multiple episodes of the podcast. And we interview different community organizations. We've interviewed the Houston Food Bank because they have a special program for individuals with different abilities. We've interviewed Miss Marilyn, who you guys just saw a little bit earlier. She was one of our guests. And so essentially our goal with this podcast is just to spread the word about different community organizations who work with individuals with different abilities. So check that out if you get a chance. And then finally, we wanted to share information about our upcoming event at the University of Houston on October 31st. This is a Disability Employment Symposium. And at the symposium, we will have a career and resource fair. So we have a variety of different employers coming out. We have community resources like Dress for Success. We have the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. We have just a variety of different community resources coming through. So if you know anyone, like I said, who is looking for work, please do spread the word. We will also have a panel discussion at this event. And so a lot of times when we work with customers, a common question is, well, when should I disclose my disability or my extra challenge? Should I mention that I'm homeless at this time? Different questions that come up. This symposium, this panel discussion will kind of touch on all of those different conversations, when to have them, how to have them, and different things like that. So again, it's October 31st at the main University of Houston campus. And so we will provide flyers for all these events to Anna. And so if you need them, please feel free to reach out to Anna and get more information. Sorry. And then finally, we have White Cane Safety Day coming up this Thursday. And this event is mainly geared to support individuals who are facing visual impairments or blindness. And this will be held also at the University of Houston. So if you guys know of anyone who has a visual impairment or is legally blind, please do share information, this flyer with them, because it's a great event. There's a lot of camaraderie at this event and a lot of support. And so, if they are facing that kind of a challenge, then it would be a great great event. And also all of us, whoever has the time and availability, please join us. It's supposed to be a great event and extremely rewarding. So if you have the availability, please do join us. And finally, this is contact information for myself and Kimberly. Like Kimberly mentioned, she has a strong background in neurodevelopmental disabilities, and I've also been with the organization for some time. So if you guys have any questions of any sort, please feel free to ask us. And also, if you guys have any questions right now, feel free. That's it.
Thank you, Soha. Thank you, Kimberly. My camera's on me. And you guys are having, it's the UH marching band is starting it off, right?
Yes, on YKCT.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. We're really looking forward to it.
They'll also have live music, I think, playing their theme song for the year, which is Living Life Like It's Golden. And they said that it's a really good band. So it should be fun.
Yes.
Awesome. I don't see any questions. Does anybody have anything? No. We do have, oh, yep, I see a hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to find out about the literacy resources that are available for someone who needs basic reading assistance to help them get on the path to getting prepared so that they can eventually become employed.
Anna, do you have information about that?
I'm sorry, it's not necessarily a question for Miss Soha, but the lady who presented first, I forget her name, from VRS, she did mention something about the disability challenges and the reading resources available.
Okay, so I was the VR person. So if someone has a literacy issue, that's something they sit down and work with their counsel on, and we would have a VR vendor that would assist them. So it's not somebody that's available to the public. That would be one of the vocational rehabilitation services we would provide. But you can go out and Google. There's lots of resources out there for people to do ESL, to teach reading and writing. There's all kinds of resources out there. And I want to say Workforce Solutions has something along that line. Anna K, Anna H, can you speak to that? Or if Bobby's on the line, I think they do. But we don't have any public people that we could suggest you go to. The people that we use are people that we pay for that particular service.
I do have a resource that whoever answered that question, the Barbara Bush Literacy Foundation, they have free workshops, and they also have grants that are out there for nonprofits too, that are applying, that have a population with literacy deficiency skills.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have that information, Christine?
I can forward it to you. I get newsletters from them. I'll send you now.
And I don't know if Bobby is on the call. I think we can help connect Ghislaine at Workforce Solutions. I just have to, or if anybody else, Bria, or anybody knows of the specific services.
I already reached out to someone that was referred to me by one of the navigators, but I never got a response.
Okay. Can
There
you?
was, I'm sorry. There was a
Go ahead.
literacy program at the Pearland Literacy Center, but that's the only one I know of that's still up and running since COVID.
And Ghislaine, where's your location or the customer's location?
Houston. The North Shore, Channel View area.
Do you have my email?
Yes.
Can you want to email me and I can help connect? Bria, were you going to say something?
I was gonna, excuse me, offer her my email as well so that I can reach out to her with some information. If that's okay. I'll put it in the chat right
Yes.
now.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Great question. So Bria will connect with you from Workforce Solutions, and then we'll get that information from Christine and Barbara. Do you have any information from the Pearland, or you just know of it?
We had one person that did go there. That was not ESL and to learn how to read. Hold on. It's called the Huntington Learning Center.
Thank you so much.
Just wanted to share a couple of events coming up that were sent to me this morning. So Kim Dugas with Guiding Our Youth, they're having a fundraiser / event on Thursday, October 27th in Alvin. There's no fee or entry fee, but donations are appreciated. And then we heard Eileen, this one wasn't sent to me on Friday. So there is a conference happening on October 26th. It's coming up in the Conroe area. We have a new partner to the group. You heard Anjanette earlier, but 8 Million Stories. And so this is their flyer information. We'll be sure to share this out in the recap. And United Training Academy. And I wanted to get to, because Eileen, Dawn, here we go. Get to this. The other ones have been in the other meetings as well. They're always shared. So this is the conference that Eileen was talking about from Hope Picks Global. They're having a conference Thursday, October 29th, or 20th, excuse me, and Friday, October 21st. So coming up soon. I'll include the link in case anybody's interested in learning more about that. Really, that's it. We have next month will be, only have 2 left. I think we were going to combine them since we skipped our July month. So we'll kind of combine all of these if possible, but so sex trafficking, drug treatment, recovery services, and try and intertwine and or include social, emotional, mental health supports as well. So if you are an organization that supports these victims or individuals, please email me, let me know, because we would love for you to present. And if you don't reach out to me, I might reach out to you. And Elvia.
Hey, quick question. So I just partner up with you have a Purpose Foundation is literally for sex trafficking and victims of sex trafficking. So I would like to welcome them to the this great resource for them as well. So if that's something we could do, I'll just send them to you.
Yes, please.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and I do see Moya in the chat in regards to the literacy. Doesn't the Houston Public Library still have literacy classes? So I don't know if anybody on the call knows that information, but Ghislaine, you might look that up, and if you do find out, share with the group. That would be good information to have also.
I'll give them a call. Thanks.
Who just asked that question again? So when you give the Houston Public Library a call, as long as the individual that's looking for the service or needs the service has a library card, they also have access to something called Brain Fuse, which will give them like an hour of tutoring a week. And so that can probably help them as well.
Thanks so much.
You said Brain Fuse?
Yeah, it's a service that the public library pays for individuals that have their membership. And it's nobody really knows about it. It's a really good best kept secret. Now you guys all know about it.
I wonder, can you invite them to this collaborative? That would be a good, I don't think, we don't have anybody from the library system, and so any library system that provides.
I will send you the person. Yeah, there's somebody on the advisory committee for HISD's CTE board, and they have somebody there. Let me reach out to them and see who their point of contact is, and I can let you know, Anne.
Okay, well, if nothing else, anybody, any announcements or events coming up? We're running out of time. I'm surprised so many people are still with us. This is great.
You guys have great information, so I appreciate you guys doing this for us.
Definitely, this is that's why we're all learning new resources, and our resources out there. So that's what this is for, is to get them shared with everyone. All right, if nothing else, we'll say farewell. I'll send the recap later, and our next meeting will be November 14th, so just before Thanksgiving.
And you're going to send the PowerPoint and the contact list, because I know our contact list is growing as well.
Yes, I'll send the link to it, and that is, if your information is not on there, please add to it. Again, thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Anna Holderberg, and thank you, Soha and Kimberly. And have a great Monday,
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Anna.
Be safe.